Trudeau changes the name of ISIS. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. There's long been confusion over what to call ISIS. They want to call themselves Islamic State. Others say, no, it's ISIS, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Then there's the fact that governments for the longest time, governments around the world, refer to the group as ISIL, even though the majority of the population uses the more common term ISIS. Now, for more than a year, there's been pressure to drop both of those in favor of Daesh. Daesh is the Arabic acronym for ISIS, and now this is what the Trudeau government says they will call their group. In their 2016 report on terrorism and national security, Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale explains it thusly. It is a serious and unfortunate reality that terrorist groups, most notably the so-called Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, use violent extremist propaganda to encourage individuals to support their cause. This group is neither Islamic nor a state, and so will be referred to as Daesh, its Arabic acronym, in this report. Here's the odd little thing, though. Daesh may not mean Islamic State in English, but it does in Arabic. It means the same thing, so they're not doing anything other than trying to confuse you, the public. It also takes away from clarity in terms of what this group proposes to say they are. And this is important because if we know what they claim to be, if we know what they say they are, then we can understand their goals. Calling them Daesh, as governments around the world have increasingly moved to do, as the Toronto Star and others have moved to do, well, it muddies the waters. It makes people not sure. It's why I've actually long preferred the term ISIL over ISIS. After researching, I said ISIS might be the most common term, but the more accurate one is ISIL, Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant. Now, why is that important? Because the Levant is a term that means much more than Syria. And let's face it, ISIS has long ago expanded well outside of Iraq and Syria. They have actual lands held in places like the Sinai Peninsula, in Egypt. They have lands held in places like Afghanistan. They've got branch plants in Nigeria, in Libya. Across the world, they are seeking to expand with new organizations. But the Levant is a very specific term. It's an ancient one that encompasses a region going from Greece all the way around the eastern part of the Mediterranean. It includes Lebanon, it includes Syria, it includes parts of Saudi Arabia, it includes Israel, it includes a good chunk of North Africa. This is why it's important to get the name right. This tells us what they want. When this group exploded onto the scene, they declared a worldwide caliphate. They claim that they are the new rulers for all Muslims worldwide, and that when their soldiers touch the soil of a Muslim land, that they will rule it. Now, we don't want that to happen. We want to be able to push back. But understanding what's in a name helps us understand what they want, what they claim to be, what their purpose is. Calling them Daesh is just a way for, well, some people, I wish I could just say liberals, but many conservatives have adopted this as well, for them to muddy the waters. They want to say this is not an Islamic group, it's not a state. Really? Well, they have a functioning government in the territories they control in Iraq and Syria. They say they're doing this in the name of Islam. Who are you to claim otherwise? You're going to be the religious arbiter now? You wouldn't do that for Christians. You wouldn't do that for Jews. I don't know why you're doing it for Islam other than, well, political correctness, you could say. This is a bad move by the government of Canada. Unfortunately, it's not the first. The Secretary of State in the United States has long done this. British MPs have long done this. The French have moved in this direction as well. So we're going to refer to a group by their Arab acronym, even though that acronym means the same thing as the English one. It's all just a part of obfuscation, as I say. Let's continue to call it what it really is. I wish everyone would call it ISIL, but of course most of us just refer it to as ISIS. But let's remember, their goal is worldwide domination. Their goal is to take land, including most of the Eastern Mediterranean, including Israel, including North Africa. Let's not forget that, no matter what we call this group.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.